I'm just 100% sure that people going to ask about the spec revamp because there's been no updates for quite some time. And
yeah, I guess the article from way back in the fall of, what was it, 21, is still biting us a bit. We're not going to move into details on year 5. So we ask you to wait a little longer on that kind of detail. So for now, we don't have information to share. But in our year 5 update, we'll get in on all things year 5 and how we're going to change the game.
Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today we have a bit of an update on the Specialization Rework that I wanted to share with you all. Now that opening clip I just wanted to play, that was the latest information that we had gotten on Spec Rework, so I just wanted to provide a bit of a refresher. That was just a bit over a month ago in the Season 11 reveal stream where Morten and Daria kind of just brought up the question of the Spec Rework, because they knew a lot of people were going to be asking about it, and as you saw, they were somewhat helpful, but also quite ambiguous, which has kind of been the deal with the spec rework for, like a year now. They've kept saying that it's just not ready, it's still in the works, nothing to share at the moment. And so as we heard in that last stream, they didn't, they were very clear and deliberate not to say that it's canceled or that it's not happening, but they just said that there is still nothing to share at this time. But we will share details about that / general year 5 plans in the next live stream, which was going to be Year 5 Season 1, which is assumedly coming next month. Well, today we have a bit more concrete information. Thanks to one of the developers on the team, there has been a new comment release that I wanted to go over because it does provide some further clarification and details about the status of the Specialization Rework beyond what we had heard in the Season 11 reveal stream and what we had heard prior. So I want to go over that and give my thoughts about it. If you end up enjoying the video, a like would be greatly appreciated, and be sure to click that subscribe button as well as turning on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Alright, so let's get right into this and talk about the actual update itself. This comes from Palle Hofstein, who is of course the lead art producer on the game, and this morning on Twitter I went on and saw that this had happened. So somebody asked him, when is the Specialization Rework coming? Is that still in the works? And he replied to them saying, hey, this was brought up in the last stream. Again, it was, but this is a bit more detail than we got there. He said, nothing imminent. Ultimately, we weren't too happy with the design and decided to look at other ways to accomplish what this set out to do. Okay, again, this is still not 100% of the answers that we're wanting about the status of this rework, but it does provide some more context and clarification, more so than we heard on the live stream back in February. And the first thing I want to point out here is that he still does not definitively say that it is canceled. And I don't want to go out there and say that that is what the devs have now said about it, because they've not said that. They've not said that the spec rework itself is canceled. What this does say, however, is, and what I think is pretty fair to assume off of these comments and everything we've heard prior, is that whatever changes do come in year 5 pertaining to specializations or pertaining to that area of the game will not be as sweeping, or just won't be in the same style as what was teased to us and explained in that reveal article for the spec rework back in like October of 2021. And on its surface, I have to say I am very bummed about that. Ever since they released that article, I was very excited for the spec rework. It's something that I had said all the way back in year 1. I was hoping we would get a rework to the specializations. Specifically, I thought it would be really cool to have a more in-depth and choice-based skill tree for each of the specs, or maybe combine them all into one or do something there. And that is really what that article said they were going to be doing. They were going to do some additional stuff as well, but they were going to kind of rework all of the skill trees associated with the specializations to increase build variety, to give you some more choice, to make the perks there more worthwhile, and that's why you had to choose between them, more powerful. I was all in on that. I was really, really excited, and so to see that, again, it's not necessarily not going to happen, but they're clearly saying that there are some big changes that have been made from when they were going after that vision. That is a bummer. I think especially with the state of Gear 2.0, it would have been a really nice refresher to build making in the game, would have just brought a lot more fun back into the idea of what you can do with builds and the different variety you can create between them. So I'm not going to say that they're not going to implement things that can still help that, because like they say, there's still other things they're pursuing to accomplish that, but at least in the form of the specialization rework, again, like the one they pitched back in 2021, that looks like it's no longer happening, which is quite a bummer. But let's also then talk about what he says in this tweet, which is that they're looking at other ways to accomplish what this set out to do. And I think that very much aligns with what you heard Morten say in that clip from the Season 11 reveal stream, where he said, there's no updates to share on the spec rework, but when it comes to year 5, we will share our plans in everything regarding this realm. So what I'm taking from both Morten's comment and what you see Pale say here is that I think there is very much things that they are planning now that they've kind of pivoted to instead of the main spec rework that are going to address some of the same problems, not necessarily problems, but things that they wanted to enhance within the game. And that is certainly hopeful. In some fashion, I think in year 5, we are still going to see something that will enhance the kind of RPG side of the game, maybe enhance the way that team comps work together, enhance the way that you can kind of make builds and make different synergies and playstyles, and that's great. I still am very much looking forward to whatever that is. Do I think that will come in year 5 season 1? Really hard to say. It could be a season 2 thing, could be a season 3 thing. Overall, it is something that they're clearly targeting for year 5, at least according to what Morten had said there. And so whatever the plan is, I am very excited to learn what that is going to be. But again, it is a bummer that we are not getting the spec rework. At least it seems we're not. Again, I don't want to go out and say it's canceled because they have not said that, but judging off of these new comments and what we have heard previously, I think it's pretty clear that the original vision for the spec rework did not work out. And again, that is too bad. I was really looking forward to it, but I am hopeful and excited to learn what they are doing in its place. So there you have it, guys. That's about all I have for you today as far as an update on the Specialization Rework. Glad we finally had some more concrete details to talk about with that. It's definitely been a big question mark that's just been in the air ever since October 2021 when we first heard about it. So I don't know if Pale necessarily meant to go that in depth with some of their future plans about it, but I, for one, am grateful that he did because, yeah, I've been wanting more information about that. Again, looking forward to what we hear about it in the Year 5 Season 1 stream or whenever that information does come around as it pertains to Year 5. So rest assured, whatever we hear about that, I will cover all of the stuff right here on the channel, and hopefully it'll be good. Let me know your thoughts on what we've learned from these more recent comments regarding the Specialization Rework. What do you take from what Pale has said today about everything regarding that and involving, you know, what we heard back in the February Season 11 reveal stream? How do you see them tackling this as we head towards Year 5? What kind of other paths do you see them taking to accomplish some of these goals like they talked about? You know, do you think they're going to implement some sort of changes to the gear or still some form of changes to specializations? Again, I don't think it's going to be the same scale as they had teased before, but there could still be changes there. We really just don't know at this point, but I will be very curious to hear any and all of your thoughts about that. That's going to do it for me today, folks. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. RogueGold out.